Check, mic check, 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Platform Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dex. Got the co-host, Luna, hanging out here. And today I am sitting down, two homies that are in town just for a little bit.
Two homos.
They could be two. That's how we're starting this one
Wonderful
off.
icebreaker.
Yeah. We're sitting here with Strategy and Cutswell. What's going on, guys? How's it going?
Very well.
It's going well. It's going real well.
Luna's out of here already.
Is it going well?
It's going about as good as it could go.
So, I mean, we'll get this started here. You guys are on a little bit of a voyage right now. Zach's moving back from Houston to Chicago.
Yeah.
You're just along for the ride.
Anus of America.
Yes. That's what I thought until I went to New Orleans.
Yo.
Yeah, like where have you guys all hit on this trip?
He's been having a horrible time. He hates this. He should have flown home. This has been a disaster.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a disaster. It's just tough to spend time with someone you love so much, so much time. They say that love
A lot of
plus
hours
time
in a car.
minus distance equals hate.
Okay, so
what they say.
just to put a baseline down, I flew in to Houston on Monday. Mm-hmm. We packed up his apartment, got in the car the next day, and drove to New Orleans to meet up with my friend Jeff.
Lake Charles is where we went first.
Oh, sorry.
'Cause that was the
my
most
God.
incredible part of Louisiana.
I totally forgot. We went to Lake Charles first, which is like halfway between New Orleans and Houston, and it's just a couple casinos on like a industrial lake.
Yeah.
We stayed at the Golden Nugget, and it's like
Yeah, like the power plant that Mr. Burns works at in The Simpsons?
Yeah.
it's like
That's
on
like the
lake.
water that the casino was
No
built
joke.
on.
It's that fucking gross?
Yes, but
It's not good.
the Golden Nugget is like one of the nicest casinos I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's an amazing place. We stayed there for a night. We checked in at like 4 a.m. and then hit the gym the next day. I lost some money, won some money. We won money playing blackjack for breakfast. That was fun.
Yeah, that was tight.
That was really tight. Like,
I
drinking coffee
didn't
and
picture
playing-
you to be a gambler.
I love gambling.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I love gambling.
I did not know that.
I'm terrible at it.
What's like your go-to? Are you guys blackjack or craps or what?
I'm roulette or blackjack.
I'm
right.
blackjack and slots.
All right.
I love slots. I'm like easy dopamine fix.
Yeah.
All day long. And then in New Orleans, like drunkenly by myself,
You'll just sit on a
I
slot
went and
machine?
lost like $700.
Okay.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So you're on the trip. We're stopping there first.
Then
New Orleans.
Saw a friend of mine, walked the streets, got dinner, drank.
Have you been to New Orleans?
We went. I've been there once. We went like our whole group. So it was like me, Eddie, fucking all them.
The boys.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee boys.
All like we had like 15 of us all go to
Nice.
New Orleans for the Bucks game a couple years ago.
He's
Yeah.
not drinking on this trip.
Well, I haven't started. I'm going to start tonight.
Are you still going to?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Wait, he didn't drink at
grumpy.
all in New Orleans?
He did.
Fuck no.
How
On
do you
my-
not drink in New
on
Orleans?
my birthday.
It's
on
a
my
shithole.
40th birthday.
He's a fucking
this
bad
guy,
friend, man.
You can't. Oh, for sure. And he just got like super high and grumpy, and you can't like.
What's the reason? Are you you're on a little health
He's
kick
over
right
it.
now or what?
First of all, I hit rock bottom. I don't know if you know what it's like to live in Houston for 3 years.
Dude, I thought you liked Houston a little bit, and then all of a sudden the last year, I feel like you've just fucking
I really tried my hardest to like it.
Yeah.
I tried my hardest to like it. I never liked it, and I felt like I would have been a pussy if I would have just been there for 2, 3, 4 months and then been like, I don't like it. I'm going back home.
yeah. That's what
That's
Austin
like
did in Cincinnati.
pussy shit. Sorry, Austin. But so I had to stick it out and like really, I kind of thrive in uncomfort.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not scared to be uncomfortable and live in misery. It's kind of my thing. So I did it.
But with reason, because you're trying to like test your strength.
I'm trying to, and also
Like
I
a
know
fast.
that at the end of the road, I'm at least hoping that something's there for me. You know what I'm saying? But there wasn't. So I'm not drinking. I've been in Houston for the last 3 years, and I just really feel like I am moving on to the next chapter of my entire life. Houston was the end of one era. You know, like
Yeah.
I went there at the end of COVID, or in the middle of COVID, actually. And I tried to continue doing what I was doing pre-COVID, which was like the send nude stuff and the party stuff and the Strategy and Dolo show and all that. And it just, for the most part, felt like I was trying to be an old version of myself rather than being myself. You know what I mean?
Like a party boy.
Yeah, party boy. No, it's a good pod.
That stays in the pod.
No, it's good. It's great. I'm trying to tell a story, and I keep fucking
this is definitely
getting
this
cut
stays.
off.
This is not get cut.
All right.
Real professional. All this professional gear, but you know.
But you leave Luna's ball out there, and then she starts fucking whining. So
Yeah,
that's why I have to
get her
put all
over
her
here.
toys away. So
Are you done talking about yourself?
no,
I don't know. What do you want to know? What do you want to know here?
So,
I'm trying to
I mean,
wrap
you're
it
saying
up. There's so much that's got to go into this because there's so much. It's not like I'm just not drinking. I'm a new man. is
But so
really
what's
what I'm
what's
trying
going to
to
be new then? Because now you're going back to Chicago. So essentially, you're
I'm going back to Chicago, and I don't want to DJ anymore. I want to go
Okay.
home, and I'm going home to be with my friends and be with my family and just be myself and figure out whatever the fuck is next. Because all I really know is that I no longer want to spend so much time in nightclubs. I don't want to rely on DJing to have to pay my bills. I don't want to walk into a venue and immediately just want to jump off of a bridge because I have to play the same music for the same people that don't appreciate it, for the same shitheads that are sitting in the office not doing a goddamn thing on the floor and criticizing me for my fucking shit pay that they're giving me. Like, everyone can suck my dick is really what I'm trying to get at.
damn.
I think that I feel this way all the time too.
Yeah, but you don't do anything about it. I'm going to do something about it.
So what's
So,
going to be
wait,
the
let
like?
me
Where are you going to go?
wait, let me address that. You know, I turned 40 this week, and my whole like leading up to 40, all I wanted to do was like this like amazing like adventure Mission Impossible style James Bond movie of a trip where I'm like, you know, whitewater rafting through the Amazon or something. But then as I was approaching 40, I was like, I just want to see like the change in me that I desire. And I think that like he's actually ironically going through the same thing. He just has no faith in me to make any changes. But you know, we're both like been trapped in a cycle for a bunch of years. It's the same weekend every weekend, right? It's the same weekday every weekday, and it's like kind of chips away at your soul like over and over again. Like for me, it's different. My like lifestyle is different than his. Like he's a lot healthier than I am, but like I wake up with that same hangover every Monday. I like
But you
recover by
weren't
Wednesday.
always that way. I mean, you
No,
He's way more diligent than I am.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm a mess compared to him. But I too hope like that after this trip that I go home and like I'm not looking to quit DJing like he is, but I'm hoping for it to be different in the way that I approach it, my perspective, my alcohol intake, you know, my drug intake, like my overall health, everything. I want to see change in that so that I can start working on things for the future during the week and not just be like fucking dead all the time, you know?
Well, what are you going to be looking to do then? Do you have an idea yet, or what's...
I mean, I'm gonna DJ still.
Yeah.
I will not DJ more than 3 days a week. I'd like to DJ 2 days a week. I don't have a large nut to crack back home. I have a home that is paid for by
off,
a
yeah.
tenant on top
Yeah.
of me, and I don't have a big rent check to have to pay. I don't have car notes. I don't have like I've lived for this moment from the start of my career. I've always started DJing with the thought that it's one day going to end and I need to prepare for that. And I always envisioned it to be the game like forcing me out rather than me leaving. But I have always prepared for this. So I'm fully ready for it. And my vision is that I can work 2 nights a week for a decent paycheck, more than, you know, working 5 nights a week for a regular pay. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? $100 an hour, whatever it is. And I'm just gonna go from there. I mean, I'm gonna work a couple nights a week to pay my bills. I'm not gonna live like I was in Houston. I was all about the money. That was the only thing I was there for. The entire time I was there, the only thing that kept me there and going was like, it's easy to make money out here. I'm making a lot of money out here, and that's what I'm here for. You know, you hit a point in, I think, anything that you do where a measurement of how good you are is monetary, right?
Yeah.
You start DJing and you're making $500 a week, and that's amazing. And then you want to go up and you make $750, then you make $1,000, and then the more money you're making DJing, the better you're doing, right? It's like a measurement tool. And that's kind of what it was up until recently. And I was like, I'm still doing it. I'm still DJing. I'm still progressing. I'm still getting more money. My money's going up. And then I have nothing but misery and money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't care about money. I drove the money thing into the ground. Fuck money at this point. I'm going to have to come back to it at some point. But for right now, I don't care about the money. I'll make a couple bucks. I'll pay my bills. I'll figure out whatever I want to do after. I mean,
I've never, I haven't used that as a gauge for my success since I was really very first starting, because when I first started, there was guys that were getting 200 a night and there's guys that are getting 400 a night. If you were a 400 a night guy, that meant you were playing like the hot clubs, right? So that was like the only like gauge. Like, I want to get to the $400 clubs or whatever. But I've always used the experiences and the places that I'm playing at as a gauge for, like, I think a lot of DJs do too, because I think
Of
we're all
what's
kinda
on their
making
resume.
we're making enough money to have free, our whole week free to do whatever we want. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. So like, if I'm not, even if it's like 1,000 a week, that's a lot more than most Americans, I assume. You know what I mean? And if it's 5,000 or whatever it may be, but if I wasn't, you know, like, you're like, all right, I want to get to the point where I'm playing in Vegas, or I want to get to the point where I'm like being booked out of the country, or like I want to get to the point where I have a full schedule every week, or that was always the gauge for me, the experience. And
Yeah.
like I'm like, you know, also like when I'm doing those experiences, I love sometimes spending the check that I'm getting just to have fun.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? I might not even take any money home sometimes. Happens all the time, actually, because I'm just a wild boy. But,
Yeah.
like, it's always been about experience. Like, and there's some things that ended in the pandemic that I don't know if I'll ever get to add to the bucket list that will always be like a hole in my career. Like, at one point, like, the guys that are like near or around my level now, whatever that is,
shout them out.
we're going to Japan once or twice a year. We're going to Thailand or like London, like getting like those, like going to play like One Oak in Japan, or like, I think it was Sinatra from New York. Like when they opened, I think it was him. They flew him out for like 3 months to like open the club. So he got to live in Japan for like 3 months, and like that's like the kind of shit I always dreamed about. So that's what's keeping me going still to this day, is like
The drive to play at venues
or
like that.
there's levels to everything. So like, yes, like I do now play in Vegas, but am I really a resident? Nah. Like, have I signed a big contract, or like, you know, I get dates thrown at me, but like, is it like, we're going to lock you in for every 4 weeks?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or we're going to give you a billboard, or like whatever, you know, that's still not there. So there's still a lot of room to grow there. But yeah, like I think that if you're going to go, kind of think that if you're going to go to a state to just make money, like, yeah, you're setting yourself up for like mental failure. You might as well just be working a job. But then again, like, you still only have to work 16 hours a week. And there's no other job that we can do with our skill set and background and make that much money.
Working 4 days a week, that's really only 16 hours.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even doing that now. Like, I just quit my Thursday and I'm doing 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And
Well, let me ask you this. So if you're going back to Chicago and you're looking at only doing 1 or 2 nights a week, do you think, as far as DJing and booking, especially with how you do promotion for your events and your booking, do you think that kind of makes you more valuable
I think that I can add value. I think that I can be a more exclusive.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to go back and get into the rat race and try and do Monday night here and Tuesday night there and Wednesday night there and collect every check that there is to collect, which I did forever. I don't want that anymore.
I feel like it makes you like stale,
Yeah.
or like it's like a supply and demand type thing where it's like,
Yes.
hey, if you're only there playing in Chicago 2 nights a week instead of playing every fucking day, where it's like, oh yeah, like I just heard him 3 other times this week.
Yeah, I want it to be more exclusive. I want it to be more of like a grown and sexy kind of thing. I'm ready. I'm done with like the wild boy shit. I'm like, I would never say that I regret anything that I did, because I didn't. Everything that I did, I loved what I was doing at the moment. I just don't love that anymore. It doesn't feel genuine anymore. It was genuine. It doesn't feel that way anymore.
You can always go back.
If I wanted to, sure.
It's always there. Like,
Yeah.
I think like that's the best thing is like we have options, you know. And another thing about Chicago is because there's so many neighborhoods, you could go do something like if you wanted to make extra money, or like that, like you don't even have to promote or no one even knows about. Like, I know a semi-successful house producer that was still DJing open format clubs.
John Summit?
under his like actual name, or just not even promoting, like just to pay bills while he was getting his album out.
Yeah.
You know? And like you can
Just
keep-
because there's so many venues and so many different pockets in the city.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, but we wish you the best, boo.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think you will do all those things.
Yeah, and to speak on like your experience thing, I have talked about on my podcast plenty of times that I sort of skipped that. I was like, I think it was really the Jew in me that was like,
That was chasing the money.
you can't
Yeah.
like why, like I'm looking at these people that are doing gig swaps and going out of town for $500 and then not coming home with $50 because they spent money on the flight and the hotel and the
yeah.
food and the Uber, and I'm like, I don't want to go to a city just to go to that city. I want that city to want me there. I want to do something big enough to where they reach out to me and say, hey, we want you here. Not like, oh, we have you tonight. Like you swapped with him, so we have you tonight. Like, hey, welcome. That was my mentality, and I will 100% say that I did miss out on experience, traveling, but more importantly to me.
But that's not the experience you want. That wouldn't be the experience.
Yeah, because then
gig swapping is whack. Like I don't
feel like
do
you're
it.
not like earning it.
I'm getting legitimately booked, and nobody is excited
But the
to
experience,
have you there when you're.
You're saying you passed up on a lot of them though, and then didn't get the experience.
on
Yeah.
that, and like I regret that a little bit, because I now wish I had the experience of DJing for so many different crowds, different states, different cities, getting a real feel for the entire country, rather than just being like, I can rock any room in Chicago, I'm a great DJ. Then you get thrown into Houston, and I had to really sort of relearn how to DJ or recalibrate my DJing to fit that room, and that sort of opened my eyes to the whole missing out on the experience of DJing different rooms, different places.
Yo, I will say this about gig swapping, like early on though, like something that might have like just broken up your experience a little bit. It's just like sometimes it's just nice to get out of town. You know what I mean? So it
So
might
you're
just
not
be like
playing the same room?
a 3-day vacation that just kind of covers the expenses if it's like a low paying gig or whatever. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Or like,
Well, that's what I look forward to now. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying now. I don't want to focus on the money. I don't want it to be my career. I don't want to feel like there's something tied to this DJing thing that I love. I want to be able to go do that. I want to take my girlfriend.
hell yeah.
Are you trying to find one this weekend or what?
He has one now.
Oh, you have one now.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend.
Whoa!
This
Is this
is,
breaking news? Do people know this?
This is breaking
You
news.
know, it might be because the last pod that I did for mine, she was my prospective girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's officially my girlfriend now.
She
Wow.
literally, in her words on the phone to me, said, "Yeah, he just wore me down."
That can mean a lot of things.
it did
Wore
mean,
her out is what she meant.
Yeah.
It did mean
know
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
things.
Yeah.
Like she was like, I was like, and now you're dating this guy, like something along those lines. She was like, yeah, well, he just wore me down.
Where is she from?
Chicago.
Okay. I didn't know if this was going to be like a
And
long
she's
distance.
known him a
no.
long time.
I
So
mean,
she knows who he is.
Houston
Yeah.
drove me to needing a girlfriend so badly. I mean, I was literally sitting there I'm getting rejected. Like I'm putting myself out there to be rejected by trash bags. Literal trash bags of human beings.
Dude just hates Houston so much.
Do you understand that I'm like, hey, what's up, whatever, trying to hit on a girl, and she's denying me, and then next week she's pregnant by like a homeless dude. And I'm like, this is the girl that's denying me? Like, it really woke me up. I'm like, I need to like get my shit together.
Well, then you're
like,
probably
why
kinda-
am I hitting on these
You were
women?
also in nightlife the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's not the
What
best
the
night.
fuck else would you do in Houston?
I don't know, but it's not the best
Right.
nightlife. There's got to be other things going on.
Brother,
The
I
city-
literally have been walking around the city with people like looking at buildings, and I'm like, can you like tell me about this city? Like, what is this building? Well, give me some
Yeah.
history. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, did they not in school? Did they not teach you about your city? Like, I could tell you so much about Chicago just from
yeah.
going to
Right.
kindergarten.
So then we, to continue the story, we spent like 14 hours in New Orleans, very brief. Got in the car, stopped in Tuscaloosa for dinner in Alabama, very like pretty little college town.
Yeah.
Started the transition to where we are now, which we're in Nashville now, here with you, and it's a wonderful city. You love
Nashville's
it, right?
incredible.
Yeah.
Nashville's incredible.
I mean, you guys have been here
Fantastic.
2 days now already.
Yeah,
Right? 'Cause
and
you
it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like
what have you all done? Like, why do you guys like it?
Well, I mean, we came from New Orleans, so,
it's. Did you look?
I
into
saw
the-
some big ass rats in New Orleans.
See, that would make him want to leave. Like he would get in the car and leave.
yeah. It's
Like anything dirty or grimy.
It
he
looks
would
like
hate.
shit. It feels like shit. The food tastes like shit.
What'd you had? You get some.
We didn't. We ate
No.
at one bar. So Nashville is super clean, really pretty, city in the trees, a lot of new development. We went
Tons
to
of
the
new
mall and
development.
we were driving down a road and I saw a row of old houses that were all music studios.
Yeah.
How fucking cool is
Oh,
that?
you guys went down Music Row.
Yeah. Like
So,
how cool
yeah.
is that?
This is music row.
I thought that might be Music Row, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. So,
Yeah.
and you're like, this is amazing. Like, and then there's live music everywhere, which as DJs we adore because we're so.
Some do. I feel
We're-
like there's a lot that don't. But yeah,
but
it's fucking
I mean,
dope.
we adore it. and
Yeah.
we love I grew up with a family of musicians. I love live music. Like,
Do you like listening to country?
if it's live,
Yeah.
I like a talented human being.
Yeah.
I don't
Same.
care what you're playing. Like, people
Hell
are playing
yeah.
honky tonk. I would never in my life listen to honky tonk. But these motherfuckers up there are talented. And
Yeah.
they're captivating me and they're bringing me into what they're doing. That's really all it is.
he got really into drumming the last year.
Yeah.
And there's a
With
ton of incredible
No Good?
drummers here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many incredible drummers here.
It's crazy. Like, so I was at Barstool last night, and on Thursdays when I played there, there's this band. The guitarist in there is this dude named Miguel, and they always like start kind of sound checking like while I'm still DJing, and Miguel will play fucking electric guitar, and dude will just start shredding
up.
like
Yeah.
on beat to whatever I'm playing.
Yep.
On
And it's-
key is probably more impressive.
It's
Yeah,
fucking
probably is on key.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And yeah.
No, but I mean both. Right?
Yeah.
You know.
And like, dude, I was playing like Post Malone, Congratulations, and he's guitaring to it.
Yeah.
And then it's like the crowd is vibing even more to him just fucking sound checking. And it's like giving you a glimpse of like, all right, cool, like this band is
do
about
they
to go.
not do that at all? Is there no like DJ band kind of duo thing?
No.
There
Which
should
I would
be.
think, like that's
Why-
what,
it's on you, dog.
yeah.
It's really
like
on
I
you.
literally, I've
Why
talked
don't
to
you
him
talk
about
to
it.
that guy?
Yeah.
Like there's a venue in Chicago in River North called Bodega. There's two bodegas in Chicago. One of them is in River North, and separate companies. And they have a trio that plays with the house music DJ. And it was the first time because they used to force us to play with drummers, and it was like terrible back in the day. But that was the first time I've seen a trio that knew the modern electronic music and like hip hop, so knew the fills and the breakdowns and the actual songs. And I was like, this is incredible. Because this is like actually playing together versus playing on top of.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you told me about a situation in Houston where you had to do that and it was just fucking awful.
Just loud drumming.
Which time?
Was it just loud drumming?
Remind me which time it was. They have like Nick Cannon drumline drummers. And Keith is raw. Keith is raw. I will
but
say
it's just
that
not a good fit.
The Clay drummer is raw, and he comes out with the bottles. He's not like performing with the DJ.
They did it in Vegas.
It's just a bottle service presentation.
And he'll
thing.
just come out with just like a snare?
He's got a snare and like a hi-hat kind of thing and a cymbal. He's wearing it
Gotcha.
on his chest. And he'll come out with the bottles, and he's super raw and talented, so that works. But there's other people who are just not even good. And I'm like, and they're standing next to me, like trying to take part in what I'm doing, and they're not adding to it whatsoever. And I'm like, you got to go. Like, I can't handle this. I can't even concentrate, because you need to really be able to like get into the pocket, get into the song, and like move with
and
it.
the velocity, like how loud they play.
Yeah.
They're just banging away, and it's like you're not like, you know, working the top of it, because the song is going to be more important than the drumming for the club. I would assume.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
100%.
And then the drummer should be adding to that.
Yeah.
Not
soloing.
taking away. He's literally sucking energy out of the song, because he can't play fast enough to play fast but keep the slow tempo of the song. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Or like what you're saying, they end up just playing fucking loud as shit,
Yeah.
and then it's just taking over the actual song itself.
They used to make play with drummers in Scottsdale a long time ago, and like you wouldn't be able to like hear for 2 days afterwards. 'Cause the guys would be banging. So you wouldn't even be able to hear your mixes, because he'd be playing so loud over the monitors and shit. Like, I don't know, it just wasn't. So, anyways, dude, that would be the first thing I did out here. Start working with these guys, like.
yeah, I mean, working with the No Good Boys and having Tanner play guitar over tracks is incredible.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite things. I mean, he's literally saved me from train wrecking before. It's been incredible.
It's amazing.
Because he'll just kind of cover it up playing guitar.
We saw this guitar player here last night that was just playing like very basic like C, G, E, F, B chords, and like doing like rhythm guitar stuff and like sitting in the pocket. And then the lead singer came down and he became like the lead of the band, and it was just incredible to see him play at such like a second nature level, like, and how common that is here. Like, you could tell he's been doing it his entire life. Like the way he started playing after that, like moving up and down the neck, like with such ease and comfort, and not even like looking at the guitar. You know, we've seen that, but we take it for granted. And like when you see it just like at a hole in the wall bar, it's like, holy shit! Like this, you know, this is their lives out here, and you're not getting that for much live music
in
or
other
talent
cities,
or like concentration of talent anywhere else in the country.
It's really impressive.
Maybe Vegas, I guess, but it's not like on one street. Like,
Yeah.
it's like all over 1,000 casinos. Like,
Yeah, because you go down Broadway, and it's like whether you're going to fucking Whiskey Row, Kid Rock's, Jason Aldean's, like
yeah.
the musicians are talented as fuck.
And then we're here
Yeah, I'd actually be
to
embarrassed.
ruin all of this.
I'd be embarrassed to DJ in Nashville. That's just me, though.
I get that.
Just fuck me.
At least you can use, but hey, at least you can use DJing to come here. You know what I mean? And they're gonna have a DJ, so it might as well be you.
But that's what's crazy is there's so many of my friends that are like, oh, like I'm not a country fan. That's why I was kind of asking you guys if you guys like it.
country.
And that's what I say to
It's
all
not
them.
country. That's
Yes.
not what's happening here. We're not listening to the radio.
Yeah.
We're like
There is
watching
some
a
country,
performance.
but
No,
there's rock and there's honky tonk and
Mm-hmm.
there's upbeat, and it's like it's a performance. Is
I-
what
But
it
you're
is.
getting,
what I'm
like,
trying to
they're
say is it's
playing-
live music.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't matter what genre it is. It's like you're going to see a performance, and like I don't know how you, as a supposed music lover,
Mm-hmm.
could not appreciate that. Like,
Well, and I talk about it all the time too, of like with the DJs, is if you're not wanting live music, that's where all these venues are 3-4 stories, and it's like, cool, or if you just get sick of the live music a little bit, you fucking pop up to the second floor and there's a DJ.
Leave.
Yeah.
Leave
or,
Nashville.
or leave and go
My
back to
advice
go
you
to
is
New
leave.
Orleans.
Yeah, go, where there's tons of live music.
Yeah.
Actually on the street. And
Yeah, there is.
wasn't, we were there on a Tuesday night, so it
Yep.
wasn't like,
And
as,
it wasn't
vibey.
Fat Tuesday, so
You know what I mean? It wasn't as vibey. I spent 5 days or 6 days there during when All-Star Week was there. I was DJing for Adidas for like 6 days, and
rich.
I had a and I had a really nice time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Well, that's
I
one
mean,
of the-
if a big company came and brought some nice things into that city and built stages and infrastructures and had events and
gave me unlimited free shoes.
It's like it's like going to a carnival. It doesn't matter what city you're in.
So two things that we've found out that Zach doesn't like are Houston and New Orleans.
I'm not a big fan.
That will be well noted after this.
And yeah, he doesn't like. Do you like New York?
I do like New York.
You're not like, oh, I
I
can't
don't
wait
love
to get.
it.
Yeah,
I like Chicago better, but I do definitely enjoy
Chicago's
New
a
York.
cleaner city.
I will say the best time I had in New York, because I went there a lot when I was younger. I had a girlfriend that would work out there, and I'd go visit her, and it did like the Manhattan thing and Times Square,
Yeah.
like tourist New York,
Yeah.
and like that was cool. But the best New York experience I had was with M. Ortiz in Queens, in Astoria. Stayed with him.
I have to disagree with you.
What?
I'm pretty sure it was when you had two girls wax my chest live on Facebook Live.
That was fun.
In
That
New
was,
York?
like,
Live on the internet, having two girls.
that was
wax my
fun,
chest.
but like fun with us. That wasn't like a New York thing.
Good
like that.
times.
That wasn't New York to me. That was just us
kidding.
having
I'm
a
just
good
kidding.
time. You know.
That
you
could've
been to
been
Boston
anywhere.
yet?
I've never been to
You
Boston.
love walking.
I love walking.
They got the
Boston
brick
is
road everywhere,
Boston
man.
is like, in my opinion, the best walking city.
Yeah, I would. I'm sure I'd love that.
Yeah.
I just like clean and nice and not insanity and smelly and just like there's got to be more positives than there are negatives.
Yeah.
I don't want to go searching for the positive. I don't want to
Yeah.
be like, all right, it's time to go find the beauty in this place. Like
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I just give me
I agree.
beauty.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the things I want to talk about was booking with you because you're still with Scam right now.
No, I'm not.
You're not anymore.
No, I
Okay.
haven't been with Scam probably like 2 years.
Okay.
I was with them for 2.5, 3 years, and then I went to Sleeping Giant,
Yeah. Okay. That's
and then Sleeping Giant recently broke up.
Yep.
So now I'm with my agent from Sleeping Giant, who is a founder of Sleeping Giant.
Got you. So you still stayed with an agent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Versus
And-
obviously you are yourself all alone.
Yeah.
And do everything
All my
booking
money.
wise.
All my money.
Exactly. So that's kind of one of the things we want to like for you when you're booking like stuff like this. Is this
doesn't
still being
count.
booked on your own?
This does not count.
Okay.
The reason why this doesn't count is because we're playing at Whiskey Row tonight. Shout out Whiskey Row. Come see us. Let's go, champ.
This comes out in 3
I
months.
know, right? So
Travel back in time and go see them.
my company in Arizona owns Whiskey Row.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like hitting up. It's like nepotism.
Yeah.
And like the only other thing, like we have an El Jefe in Chicago, and I used to play it a lot. And I remember like going there and DJing, and maybe it was in my head, but the vibe was he's only playing here because he plays the Jefe, and he's like
In
the main
Scottsdale,
DJ for the company in Scottsdale.
Yep.
And it's not like I like got booked in Chicago or proved myself or built a following. So when I stopped doing that gig so that I could earn my way into the city of Chicago. And now this weekend we're playing 3 gigs in Chicago, and I have like, I don't know, I do like every 8 weeks in Chicago now, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Right now I think that's the best city in America overall. That's where I want to be the most.
It's a little
He loves
rough
the
right
West
now.
Loop. You
Really?
been to the West
I
Loop?
do love the West Loop, but we got into an argument about the West Loop last night.
Really? You don't like it?
He loves it.
I'm all about it.
I thought you. Okay.
I think that they're doing great things over there.
yeah.
Yeah. So
My parents live in Chicago,
but-
so I'm a big Chicago fan.
you want to know like how I get gigs or something?
No,
Or,
I'm just saying. So for you, as far as I guess going through like the agency, like, are you booking stuff yourself, or like when everything you booked, is it still is the agency still getting a cut, or right now your agent?
Okay, so my agency gets a percentage of everything outside of my local residencies.
Okay.
Okay.
So what about this
Even
stuff in Chicago?
Arizona. Even in Arizona.
That's a good deal though, because a lot of people don't get that deal.
When I
A
was
lot
with
of people-
Scam,
They're taking
when I was with
everything,
Scam,
even the
when I was with
residents,
Scam,
yeah.
It was everything.
No matter what, like
Does
whether
not
you're
matter
booking
what.
it or
that
not.
was the deal. And maybe other people in the roster have a different deal. Mm-hmm. I don't ask people how much they make. I don't ask them those questions. I could. There's a couple guys I could ask. You
Yeah.
know? But then, like, I made that deal on my own with Sujit. I
Yeah.
agreed to those terms. So I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah.
I'm not upset about it. I agreed to do that. Like, no one held a gun to my head and said, you have to pay. You know what I mean? At the time, I thought it was the best decision for me. And I was really happy with that decision. And, like, Sujit and me did some pretty awesome things together.
Yeah.
You know? But we were talking earlier in this podcast about, like, he mentioned, like, not being wanted. Like, he just, if you were to do a gig swap, he goes there like, oh, this is the guy you have now. There's no excitement, right? So to have successful relationships means that you want to get them to ask you to come play. Mm-hmm. Okay? He nailed that. Because if you're asking them, they're like, oh, like, or like if I try to convince an entertainment director to book my friend and it wasn't his idea, like he didn't go, hey, do you know how I can book so-and-so? Then they're going to be like, all right, like I try it. And then the whole time they're going to be like watching that DJ and like, over, like, is this good? Like, they're not going to be pumped at all. And they're also not going to get asked back, most likely. I think it's unlikely that they'll get asked back.
And then that
I
also
had this argument with Conflict, but it was a little bit different recently. And it's like, he's like, my word is bond. Like when I tell someone, I'm like, oh, but they're asking you to help book DJs. And that's a difference. If you're just like cold calling someone and being like,
hey, I have this guy.
you got to book him. I'm telling you, he's amazing. It's just not you. So you have to build your own relationships.
That's kind of the AM thing, right? Like from watching the documentary, he got so big and so many people wanted him that he was like, I can't do it that night, but this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was in conjunction with an agency, and those other people weren't just like no-name DJs.
Of course.
They were well established. Like AM can't play tonight, but Vice.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
No one's upset.
Hey, like you'll get me like next month, but like we're gonna like help you build your.
But I got to imagine he put a lot of people on
Oh
as
my God,
well.
he's-
Like Vice
he's-
may have been known at the time, but I'm sure he put on.
invented this game.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
It's
and
kinda,
Sujit
yeah.
and Vice picked it up.
Yeah.
You know, from where he left off. Well, they were already in business, but so there are gigs that I get in smaller markets that come from my agency. Mm-hmm. That I don't know anyone, and then when I get there, I try to do everything I can to
Network and meet the people.
make them want me to come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like the
You're not
dinner or
just
whatever.
coming there for work and
Right.
just leaving.
Which
yeah.
a lot of people do, and guess what happens? So, and it's fun. Like you make it sound like a job. Like I make it, or whoever they is, makes it sound like something more than just playing music. But like, it's not like they're usually like-minded individuals within the industry, and you're like hanging out with cool new people, making new friends, and like I've become close with a lot of these people, you know. But another thing is like taking advantage of your own market. Like I happen to live in a touristy town.
Yeah.
There's always people there. And that gives me an opportunity to like not only host them and show them a great time and like make sure that they're taken care of while they're there, but they get to see me DJ. And then they go, yo, we got to get you here. Like, well, we're going to book you. And that has turned into like I did like a whole contract in Sacramento that was guaranteed dates for like a year and a half.
That was one of the things I saw you talk about on Twitter a while ago, where it was literally just from you networking with the table next to you. And then
Not Sacramento, but I've done that.
okay, I thought that's one that led to like Sacramento.
Like yo, and then like the other thing is like that group of guys, that bachelor party, like when all their homies come with their bachelor party,
They send them to go see you.
send them to me, and like
I know I've done that with a bunch of people too,
Yeah.
where it's like
just
they're just going to Scottsdale and they'll be like, hey, like
it's an easy thing to do. So
Yeah, was that you? Did you tweet that before or after you asked what people play after I Just Want to Rock?
Dude, I'm not like I'm lazy enough to ask that question. I'm like, oh yeah, like someone like mentioned like some Sierra song, and I was like, oh yeah. But then like thankfully like Bad Bunny and a few other people came along and some 150 BPM tracks.
Yeah.
But no, so you just gotta stay on your grind. It obviously really helpful to like make content, which I don't do. And branding, which I don't do, but all that stuff like would probably be getting me paid a lot more than I'm getting paid. But, so yeah, you have to build a network, and then hopefully an agent fills it in. This is what I was trying to remember. My agent has turned successful one-time gigs into residencies.
Okay.
He is also I had to send an invoice recently for the first time in like 5 years. Okay, I don't have to invoice ever. I don't ever have to be like, where's the money? When's it coming? Like, I don't have to spend any time following up with anyone. And there's always money just coming in from the past. So it's kind of like, even if it takes 3 months to get paid, it doesn't matter because there's just something from 3 months or 4 months prior or whatever that's coming in. Like, it's always just kind of coming in. And I don't negotiate rates at all, so I don't have to be the bad guy. I can just be the fun guy all the time. I have to talk about the money. You know, like we were negotiating for a gig in Chicago, and I was like, "You should do it." I'm like, no
You're
idea
like,
what I'm doing.
I don't want to do this. Yeah.
I'm not only don't want to do it, I like will do a bad job.
I enjoy that.
See, and that's
By the
where,
way, you did a terrible job.
Yeah.
We still don't know what we're getting paid.
which is why he enjoys it. Like, it's the fun part.
So, yeah, man, like the turning the residency thing is a big deal. Maybe it was a gig that I brought in, and then on the second trip, he's gotten me a lot more money. You know, like we were talking about experience, that I've taken gigs that I probably from a financial perspective shouldn't have taken, but I just wanted to do it. And that's like bad for everyone, I know, but like an undercutting, if you want to call it that, but like I don't give a shit. And I went and did it, and I enjoyed myself, and I can afford it because I have 4 residencies a week in Scottsdale, and I'm not fucking up anyone else's game. That's on them to get paid.
But
know
you
what I mean?
use it as a
I'm not
way
setting
to,
a standard. I'm not a powerhouse. I'm just one fucking guy. You
Yeah.
know? So then if he'll fix that. My agent will fix that.
Yeah.
That idiocracy. You know,
So then how do you look at, like, have you ever thought of going with an agent or going with an agency or no?
There was one time when like the whole send nude shit was happening, probably like 2016, 17, where I was looking over a contract to do that, and I was like gonna do it. And then
With who?
I think it was 3 Day Weekend, honestly, or whatever it was before
Justin
that.
Zotz.
What was before that?
I don't remember the name, but it was Justin Zotz.
But he didn't
Same.
want me. Someone from the agency, one of the other DJs was like trying to get me on, but he didn't want it.
Yo,
Gotcha.
he didn't want me either.
Yeah.
We're not old enough.
I mean, whatever it was.
3 Day
it's-
Weekend has an age minimum.
Yeah.
All of their DJs are in their late 40s.
It's like a high rise in Florida.
Yeah, 100%. If you look at the roster, there isn't anyone. Maybe, Bella Fiasco, I think, is under 40. But the rest, dude, some of them are in their 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my real only experience with that. And then after that, it's never really even been a question. I don't know. Me and Dolo, I really enjoyed doing like the strategy and Dolo show stuff and putting so much work in outside of DJing and being able to use that as a bargaining chip when talking to anybody about getting paid and going into meetings and having phone calls about money and all that shit. Like, I do enjoy that. It is a rush. It's nice. It's fun. You know?
And that's the kind of why I wanted to bring it up, because just seeing the difference of why you choose to not do it, why you choose to do it, the positives from your side, the positives from your side. But then for you to being able to negotiate it as far as like your guys' social media and branding, like we've talked about that so many times where it's like how people can use, let's say if they're a producer and they got 500,000 monthly streams, like you can use that in a bargaining. For you, when you and Dolo are putting so much work into your video creation and content, all that kind of stuff, that's something that you guys can take to these venues and you're like, hey, this has X amount of views. This is how many people we're bringing to the party.
Yeah, our big thing was like, they'd tell us, oh, our DJ budget is this. And we'd be like, okay, cool. But what's your marketing budget? Because we're going to do marketing for you.
Oh, yeah.
So let's tap into that.
So you'd use, okay.
Ooh, that's
All
like
right.
charging for the cables and the speakers when you do a road gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The setup and tear down time.
Yeah, all that shit. Yo, are you gonna throw your own parties in Chicago?
I don't know. As of right now, I don't have aspirations to, but it's always something I've wanted to be successful at and have not yet been very successful at. Like in terms of like really making a party, like an R&B and
really
ribs
just
or
yours.
like something like that.
I've had one.
That's something that I feel like I always need to do because that's what Eddie Mills always said somebody had to do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I need to at least
Where's
continue
Dolo
to try.
living? Is he in Chicago now or what? Where is he?
He's still in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just trapped there?
Yeah, he's just bouncing around in his lowrider.
Just the,
Figuratively and literally.
yeah.
Wait, but one thing that I think is so fantastic about Chicago is in my city we have two companies. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like if you lose
You're
get
fucked
fired,
on gigs, yeah.
and then you lose the other one, and that's it, pal. Right? Like you're gonna be playing in downtown. Chicago has like 90 satellite companies, so like if he can't get paid at Club A, he can go to B or C or D until he finds what he wants. Now there's a limit to it, but yeah, so Chicago you can like play clubs against each other. You can
I'm
not
and
making
you
that
lie,
up, right?
and you lie, and you say, "Well,
they
I'd
offered
love
me
to do your party, but they gave me $1,500, so you guys are gonna have to give me $2,000." You know?
Ooh. I love it. Until they text them.
But that's all stuff you can play into, yeah.
I've never had that happen.
I actually found out that some of the local DJs in Arizona were making significantly less than me. And I just said, I was saying it's okay to be an undercutter a minute ago. It's ironic, but I was like, I need these guys to get raises so that
way you can.
So yeah, no, not that so I can get a raise so that they don't go, well, these guys are only getting this much. Like,
I mean, it's
to
both
replace
things,
them.
really.
But then I also like gauge like what I bring to the table, and it's completely different. You know what I mean? So I made them go and get raises, and they did it.
It's good.
They actually did it. Like they hadn't asked in like 5 years. They were scared they were going to lose their jobs. You know what I mean? It's a different market.
And then
timid.
That kind of brings up for me, I'm thinking about like when a DJ becomes an entertainment director. Mm-hmm. And then it's hard. Those are the toughest people to deal with because you're trying to get money from this company that they are the middleman between. Yeah. And they're only getting so much money, and they're the entertainment director. They're at the top.
Right.
So I'm asking for a good rate.
You mean like a booking company that's doing the bookings for a bunch of clubs, right? You don't mean a guy that works for the company itself.
Either one.
Entertainment director to me is a member of the club's company, like on salary.
And not
like a guy that's like managing the bookings for a bunch of nightclubs and getting a set budget, and then you can't negotiate anything higher because then you're eating into his funds. And
right.
Like, that's different, I think. But I think it's important to clarify that because I recently have seen, I think even like some clips from the Road podcast where like it didn't feel like clear, like the difference.
Yeah.
And then you may not want to do more than DJing, but if you want to control that narrative, then you have to become that company. You know what I mean? Like if you
when you say that company, you mean like
you're creating your own booking company.
Like the one that there's a company in Chicago that's doing a bunch of bookings for like 5 different clubs.
The Treble Monsters.
The Treble Monsters, right? And they are guys that at one point got off their ass and said, we're going to get organized and we're going to get these accounts, and they control the narrative.
Yeah, to me, those guys are worthless. For a guy that has always done his own negotiating, and I want to talk to the owner. If I'm playing at a place, I want to be involved. I don't want to go DJ and go home. I want to be involved. I want to be...
It's an addiction, too.
I want to be part of whatever I'm doing.
You want to control the narrative.
Yeah, I don't want to have to go through this guy who's then talking to this guy. I want to talk to this guy.
But here's the thing is like there's two things happening on a spectrum. One, we think like booking a DJ or picking a good DJ is like obvious, kind of, or like an easy like you're just hiring another employee or something, right?
Right.
But a lot of club managers are like really unsure, really intimidated, don't know anything about DJing at all, or like maybe are young or don't have experience. Even if they have experience, they've just always had someone else do it for them. So they've just never had to like think about it, and then they've provided that company with feedback, and that company has used their vernacular to communicate with us and the changes that they want to see take place within the performances, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the DJ that just doesn't have the networking and social skills. So, but they might be a really good DJ and need someone. Like, they're not like a loud asshole like you.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's something I learned recently with these companies is a big sell for them is going to a club and saying, hey, we have access to all these great DJs, 10, 15, 20, however big their roster is, all these DJs we can put in here. And you guys only got to turn in one W-2. You don't have to turn in all these different W-2s for all these different, or 1099s or whatever the fuck it is, for all these different people. We'll handle all that. You just give it to us. We'll do all of the money.
And to add to that point, you also now don't have 19 people texting you about getting paid, annoying the shit out of you. Who,
you're paying
honest,
one account.
A lot of DJs are not the most professional people. They come with the "fuck you," then you pay me now. Like I did a lot of like corporate stuff young in my career and had like a good mentor. So like I'm comfortable with net 60. Like I have money, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Like you got to make smart choices so that like if you don't get paid for 2 months, it's okay. And then also not like getting so upset that it took you 2 months to get paid that you piss them off and never get to DJ for them again. You know? Yeah. It's not the funnest thing. It's not the best. I don't understand what's so hard to pay someone, but dude, it took me a year one time to get paid from Guest Clothing. I spent 100 hours trying to get paid for a 3-hour gig. It's like insane.
And then it's just so much work to try and contact them and like chase them down and fucking get your money.
They
have no
horrible time.
Nashville is very different in that aspect. I'm not sure if you guys, I think I've talked to you about it a little bit, but Nashville is definitely very different in that aspect where most of the booking here is not done on your own. Like for me, I knew Eric from playing at El Jefe.
Totally.
So moving here, I was like, cool. Like Eric's heard me DJ already. He used to book me at El Jefe. Like I'll be able to DJ at Whiskey Row. Basically everywhere here is booked through these third-party agencies. So there's a company called Jam Factory that does Whiskey Row. So like all of my booking through Whiskey Row is always done through them. So good part, like
you should undercut them.
So I always just get paid. No, but that's one of the things is like
5% fee instead of 10.
For me, like I don't get to negotiate my rate at all. It's all just like through them. I don't have to worry about money. Like the checks just come right away the next day.
They're probably coming out of their own account and not even getting paid.
100%. Yeah, that's what they do. And then they just, the companies, right? So like Whiskey Row will just send them a check end of the month. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why I was talking about it. But it's strange because there's basically like 3 companies here in Nashville. Jam Factory is the biggest one. They book all the bands and DJs at the majority of the venues. Which, like, the bands is the big part, which that's what I get, especially from fucking having 3 floors. Like, you got to book, you're booking 20 acts a day at, like, one venue. And then you extrapolate that to a full week. Like, they're booking 60 acts a week at Whiskey Row alone.
They're a massive company.
But then there's other agencies. Like, this just happened. So, where Darren's at, one of the clubs that he's at was a place that we were booking ourselves. And just like through the GM. The GM just left, and now this agency swooped in. What we were getting paid, now through this agency reached out and they're like, hey, like I heard you play a Barstool. You fucking killed it.
Baby.
They're like, we want you to come play here.
Like, you're a great DJ, so we're going to take most of your money.
So they literally sent the money. It's fucking $200 less than what I was already getting doing the booking myself. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
There's a solution. Sort of.
And you just got to be bigger than an average Joe DJ.
That's one thing. Or have a relationship with the manager and say, hey, he's one of the people that we want, so make sure you put him on the schedule for these nights, right? And then, like, if you talk to that same manager about pay, like, you're like, yo, like, they hit me up, but they're only willing to pay me this amount. Like, can you talk to them about increasing the budget? And he has to increase the amount of money that he's
paying them. Yeah, exactly.
Which is insane. And he's asking a lot because he's probably already paying a premium. And they want to cut as much fat as possible to make investors happy.
Which is why, like, for you, where you're like, I don't want to go through them. Like, I want to just go right to this new manager and be like, hey, look, like, I'll do the booking by myself. Like, we don't need this company to do anything.
You pay me
which,
direct.
like, I don't even know why they need a booking agent. Like, all
For
you're
the
doing
same
is
reason he said.
you're literally booking a
Fucking
DJ
easy.
on fucking Friday and Saturday. That's it. Like, you shouldn't even need it.
Let's be honest about it. Most of these GMs are lazy pieces of shit. Most of them, not all of them. So if someone comes to them and says, hey, I can take this entire thing off of your plate and handle it, they're going to say, all right, cool. Because I want to go sit in the back and look for my next house that I could buy and flip for $40,000 more than I bought it for. And while I'm getting paid this GM salary to sit back here and talk on the walkie-talkie, you know what I mean? Like,
Yo, we're also like, I don't know, it made me think of this like other aspect of it is like, we don't ever get flowers. Like, it's never like a pat on the back. Like, if a GM isn't complaining about you, then you're doing a good job.
yeah.
Right? Because you're just one less thing that he has to deal with or worry about. That's all they care about. They're just like, don't want to deal with anything. So, like, I'm like, hey, like, how did so-and-so do at the gig that I, like, they're like, I didn't hear anything. That's like, oh, so you did a good job.
Yeah.
Versus them being like, oh, he killed it. Like, the GM was, like, really talking about it. Like, most of the time, it's like, they just don't say anything.
It's just basically like, as long as you're not getting anything bad.
They're us.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to do anything either.
Yeah, we're lazy too.
Yeah, we're lazy pieces of shit too. Like, so like, the less I have to do, you know what I mean? So it's like, why doesn't he's in the same industry? Why doesn't he get to enjoy the luxury of making all this money and doing very little work?
Yeah.
You know?
I will argue that point with having a skill. A skill set to me and being a good at the skill is a very valuable thing. To me, it's more valuable than money. You know what I'm saying? Someone comes up with a fucking nice car and a nice watch and shades and they got all this money. It doesn't do anything for me. If you can tell me the skill that you use to acquire these things, now I'm interested.
Yes, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And GMs don't have any skills.
They don't.
No, but the best GMs do. Like, they like have really big client bases. They make the place stay busy. They keep it going. Like, and those are the ones that usually, the successful ones are usually the ones that want to deal with the least because they're actually doing something. And then the opposite, the very unsuccessful ones usually doing the least. So it can just kind of go either way. Like,
Yeah. You know, when you go through 3 GMs in a month,
been there, bro.
it's pretty evident that something's going on.
Something's going on.
Which is
I've been there.
actually what's going on with this venue. So that's funny that you say that.
I've seen that go on where it like wasn't like a terrible thing, and I've seen that go on where it was a terrible thing. Like, someone had like a family emergency, had to quit or whatever, like or was having a kid, and then they like someone else, I don't know, something came up, like more life shit. But then most of the time it's like this person was stealing, and then the next one was molesting the staff or whatever, or this one like
Sounds familiar.
literally like got into a street fight, or like, you know, it's crazy. And then we've talked about this before, I think, on your podcast, but like, we wake up every Monday with all this anxiety about the shit that we did over the weekend
I
that
saw
like
that
was
one,
gonna get us in trouble, but then we watch like the people running the company do the most absurd shit and just get away with it, and like, and then you're like, oh yeah, like how they get to be lazy like us, we get to be crazy like them, and nobody's getting fired. It's just a good story that's being told.
It is a nice little well-oiled machine.
Of corruption. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So, do you enjoy that you don't have to deal with anything?
I
mean, maybe you're making a little bit less money, but you're in school, right?
Well, I look
you
at
got a
it-
girl, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't
Yeah,
have to
we
worry
all
about
have
getting
girls
paid.
on this couch. Let's talk about our girlfriends.
Okay.
Well, so let me answer this first. So I look at it as a positive for like 99% of it, because the way I look at it as this agency puts you on gigs that you would have never
Totally.
got yourself.
Hell yeah.
So especially with Jam Factory and with how I have worked with them, and Ryan is the owner there, where it's like getting my foot in the door at first was hard because these guys are never out. So it's like it's not like going to a venue,
Right.
seeing the owner,
Right.
or like
Totally.
in Milwaukee or Chicago, like having other people come to other venues where then they hear me and they're like, oh shit, like
But
you're
you only had
good.
to network with one person.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
That's
it's like
fire.
Milwaukee and Chicago, like I can go into any venue. I know the managers, I know the owners. Here, to get into these venues, like you have to be tight with this agency. So
Or
for
get
me,
the manager to tell them to book you.
yeah, so like for the first couple months that I was here, I wasn't like trying to DJ anywhere, like push my foot in the door or anything. It just happened through like Darren. This agency needed somebody, and Darren was like, yo, like my buddy Declan lives here, like hit him up. And that's how I got in and got my foot in the door. And now I'll just be like random days and they'll hit me up and be like, yo, can you DJ this place at this time? And it's like, cool, that's
Who's the
free
biggest
money.
DJ in Nashville? Don't be scared.
Biggest meaning like playing the
Come on,
most
who's
spots.
the top dog? When you think of Nashville, you think of this DJ.
So I would say like a couple. There'd be like Mike Fresh.
You gotta answer.
I mean, I think like
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No,
I think
no,
like
no.
Diesel plays like a good majority of spots. OMG Parker, who's gonna be the dude that's opening and playing with you guys, plays a shit ton of places.
Wait, it's OMG. Okay.
Yeah, his name's Matt.
Okay.
But who's like not necessarily playing the most spots, but who's like making the most noise?
We know who
Who's
the
like-
biggest DJ in Chicago is.
Yeah,
It's Lago.
it's Lago, physically and
just in general. Yeah.
industrially.
He is the biggest DJ in Chicago.
I mean, he is doing more than DJing too. So
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
I would probably say Matt, because
The guy that's opening for us tonight.
yeah, because producing wise too, he's a
Got-
phenomenal producer.
He's got
Okay.
some good stuff going
Yeah,
on.
What kind of stuff does he make?
Bass House.
How old is he?
Yeah, he's like 24, 25, something
Baby.
like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
What a baby boy.
yeah. He just got done with school at Belmont and went to school there for music production.
Is that where you're going now?
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I would say like
Studying
him-
bass music and Jesus at the same damn
correct.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I would probably say him, but then like there's other venues. So
Jesus
like
loves the seventh chord.
there's other venues. So they have like Jason Aldean's, and all of them are like one little clique of DJs, and that's like a completely separate. Like they only DJ at those spots, and like no other DJs DJ at those spots, because like they just have like them. So it's like their guys would be like Mike Fresh, who does stuff for like heavy hits.
Is there anywhere outside of Broadway, like where there's like music venues or clubs or
Yeah.
bars or like, is anyone throwing their own nights here? Is there like a house music night going on somewhere?
There is like Julian throws like Latin nights, and his shit pops off for these Latin nights.
Gotta have in Latin. night.
But as far as like,
I mean, like DJ centric night.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well,
whether it's like electronic or hip hop or like.
he DJs these Latin nights.
Okay.
As far as like one-off like house parties, not really. Dirty Little Secret will do some like house events.
I mean like a night by DJs for DJs and music heads.
Not really.
Okay. Like a
No.
music head night.
Yeah.
Now music head kind of sounds like an old term, but it doesn't have to be. It could be like
I would think maybe.
yeah, but if you're a music head, you want to go see the band. I'd imagine.
I mean, if you're throwing like
I-
theme,
if you're a music head that wants like house.
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if it's like theme nights,
Makes
yeah, you want to
sense.
go listen to something different, like a,
yeah,
yeah.
or dubstep night or something
Yeah.
like that.
No,
Like,
not
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Yeah, I would think maybe like Rate Wonder probably does stuff at like a place in East Nashville. He might do like other hip hop stuff that I just like don't know about.
So they're like local spots
Yeah.
too, and like
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's like different pockets. So you have Broadway, and then
I
it's
was smaller than I thought I was going to be. by
Yeah.
the way.
It's
There's
literally
a
just like
fuck ton of shit in this 2 blocks.
all condensed
like
into that.
900 bars in
Yeah.
2 blocks. It's pretty impressive.
But then you have like Midtown, Germantown, East Nashville. So it's like Midtown has like a couple other bars that have bands and DJs too. And
Are
then
you
like
happy you moved here? And have you taken advantage of any of the things that the state has to offer outside of
I have.
hiking, fishing, hunting?
I don't hunt.
Are you an outdoors man?
Welcome to the Joe Rogan podcast.
I just take her on like trails and I try and find spots to go basically like hiking with her all the time.
Cool.
So we'll go, I mean, we're always trying to find like just places that we can bring
I'm a
her.
big off-roading guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Like bike off-roading
Yeah,
or what? Okay.
Adventure motorcycles. So like I'm always scouting the terrain when I'm on my travels.
All right.
Yeah. I like to look at the dirt.
Are you a nature guy at all?
I do love nature. Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend, man.
He just keeps
We
going.
went to Sedona together.
Sedona's dope.
Went a little hike on the river.
Maddie and I went there. That's Sedona right there.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
place.
we went on a helicopter ride.
Hey,
It
you
was-
went all the way to Sedona from this side of the world with your girlfriend. You didn't propose?
No, so she will not let me propose until she's done with school.
That's
She's
kinda
like
nice.
specifically told me, she's like, do not propose to me until, like, I know I'm going to, but she's literally like, I do not want to be planning a wedding like while I'm still finishing school. It would be fucking miserable. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, she's done with school like
Buy you a little
May
time, huh?
27th.
Congratulations. I was going to make a terrible joke about like when she's done with school, she's done with you, but
All right, so I'm done now. So yeah,
I got my master's.
thanks for paying for everything while I was in
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
So.
Cool.
But no, it's I would definitely say like having the agency it's
Yeah,
positive.
It's boss. Yeah. I would like, I'm a lazy person in a lot of ways, and I'm also not, but that's one of those things, like one of the, where I'd be like, fuck it.
Yeah,
Like,
you legit like don't have to worry
just
about
pay,
it.
oh, I get paid though, cool. It shows on my account, like great,
Like scheduling and shit is easy. It's all just like off an app. You just fucking
my God.
look at it, and it just
Yeah.
all gets added right
Can
away.
you do like time off requests and like swap?
It's literally
gigs?
all
Oh
through the
my
app, yeah.
God, it's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
it's not like yo, there's like this perception if you're like calling in to like work as a DJ, like you're gonna lose your job or whatever.
It
But-
So
does
that-
always feel that way.
right, but like it doesn't feel like that to me anymore. Like
I think does happen.
okay, well I guess like we keep trying to say, you know, the level of it, but
Yeah.
like being able to like swap a set time with someone or like take a day off as like a time off request, where it's more like corporate and normal, has some beauty to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my company like almost likes it when I take time off, which sounds bad, but it allows us to keep other DJs employed that we need on the roster so they don't go to the competition.
Gotcha.
Like, because there's only so many like opening or early shifts and like only so much money to be made from those. So when they get like, you know, there's a couple guys at home right now that are covering 2 weekends of shifts for me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
While you fucking have to drive around with this dickhead.
it's the
Yeah.
fucking worst.
It's really not great.
Now that we did the podcast, I can sense his vibes in a better mood. But this guy today just was the worst depressed.
But you
mood.
just live for potting.
I love potting,
Yeah.
I think I do too.
but also, I need like alone time. I need to recharge, especially if I know I'm working tonight.
Yeah.
I need to like get everything done that I need done mentally, so that I can go tonight and not think about anything.
You're a routine
What's-
guy.
Big time.
Yeah.
What's been the living
road is,
situation?
like- but you didn't prep yourself for this like disaster of a week.
I'm trying my hardest. That's why I'm not drinking. That's why I
See, that's the thing is you should have been drinking this entire time.
Yeah,
To
good advice.
Just to like you don't go to New Orleans and be sober and have a good time. You go and you get shit faced.
Let's be honest. We drove into New Orleans and I almost wanted to jump out the car and kill myself.
Yeah.
Then I settled in. I took some mushrooms
Facts.
and had a good night.
Facts. Back in the older strategy,
I would have gotten drunk
Part
and
B
I would have
wouldn't
tried
have-
to have sex with some girl, and then if I did, it would have been the best night ever. And I did that a million times.
The best night ever.
How many times can I do that?
Just
That
from
was the best night ever.
I got drunk and had sex with this girl, it was the best.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's the pinnacle of your life.
How many times can I do that?
No, I 1000% agree with you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really happy for you, but when we planned this is a therapy session now, by the way.
Like, you knew what
When
you signed up for.
Yeah, like, it was like, yo, we're gonna DJ on the road, we're gonna road trip, we're gonna fucking, we're gonna burn the candle to the ground one last time. Because for me, like, I wanted it to be like that because, like him, I'm trying to make some serious changes in this next month as I turn 40. So I wanted this to be like I wanted it to be like, we're never getting booked again.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Which is why I'm saving it. I'm going to smoke the joint tonight. I'm going to take my shirt off. I might take my pants off. I don't know.
It's a very small.
Eric would love that.
You know what's
I've been
you're
saving
gonna
it.
probably piss him off? The booth there it's tight. Like for you to both be
The
standing.
second floor.
We're not doing a fucking front to front.
Yeah, second floor booth. No, I'm just saying, like, for you to fucking pop your shirt off and pant. I mean, nobody's gonna
I'm
know
not
if you
gonna
have.
be standing
I'm
there.
honestly-
When
I'm
he's
not
playing,
looking
I'm
great
gonna
right
be
now.
like getting
You're gonna
hammered.
be drinking at the bar with me.
I've
Yeah,
been
exactly.
a little.
You're gonna be on the stage with us.
Yeah.
It's a big stage.
It's a big stage. I'm saying the booth itself, though, like
I might
because
be,
there's a
like,
light guy
talking
next
shit
to you too.
Dude,
That's
But-
the worst when they stick the light guy in the DJ booth.
Yeah, he's all. It's tight in there.
it's bad for business because those guys end up just talking to girls
Yes.
and getting really drunk
Yes.
and like instead of doing their job.
No, the light guy at Whiskey is dope. James, he was actually just on.
Okay.
He's an audio engineer. Was just on
Okay.
here.
Nice.
He's
No,
good
I mean,
shit.
they can't all suck.
Yeah. But like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, if it was old strategy in that booth, it would be less than
It's
ideal.
gonna
booth.
be a little bit old strategy
Yeah.
tonight. There's
I'm
gonna
gonna-
be a bottle of tequila in his hand.
I'm gonna be drunk. I'm gonna have fun, but like I'm not, trying to get titties out and putting
Yo,
girls on my shoulders and
Right.
fucking.
He's just a
I'm
changed
trying to
man
go
now.
Yo, October 3rd, I'm like going sober. So
Okay.
like, we'll see.
I think we should check
But
back. I think that
Yeah.
you should clip this, and I
Yeah.
think that you should be back on
I'm
the
not
pod at the end of
I'm
October.
not setting.
And
And I
see if
think
you
that-
I'm
still
not
haven't
setting
drank.
a
Yeah.
space of time anything longer than October 29th. Okay, but
So you want to be back drinking by Halloween?
I'm going. So you know what it is? I'm going to play with CRG in Texas.
Yeah.
and he just started drinking again. But if I get,
He's a big mushroom guy
If I
now.
go through, go through these 3 weeks and I get there and I go, I don't want to drink, then I won't. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna like put some unrealistic expectation on myself. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, why don't we just go to New Year's? You know what I mean? But like, let's take it one day at a time, as they say. You know what I mean? Like, this is gonna be a really hard for me.
It's definitely a
I'm also
difficult.
not traveling until the end of the month for this.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, that was a nice idea, but a terrible plan because I actually do better on the road with the partying than I do.
Yeah, because at home I feel like everybody knows you more,
Oh
of
my
like
God.
locals, and those are
There's
gonna be
like
the people that want.
8,000 mansion parties every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that I can like stay at till 6 in the morning, like being an idiot, you know. So
That's
and
what
it's
I'll.
unlimited free alcohol at like 20 bars.
That's what I'll say is one thing that's helped moving here. I drink way less since moving here. Like I barely drink when I DJ at all, and it's literally just because like I just don't know as many
also
people.
the vibes of working for that agency and shit. It feels like a job more than it feels like
You don't
Being
know
with the
like the
boys.
staff as much too. Like when you're booking stuff on your own, like you know the staff more. Like I'm in there, I know the bartenders, I know the servers, I know the managers. Where it's like through an agency, it's like you're showing up, you're just DJing, and but I make it. That's one thing that I make a point. I've kind of talked about this, like Road Podcast just talked about it a while ago, and I like commented on it. I was like, I literally make a point like when I go into a place to introduce myself to like the bartenders, get their names, get like
my-
the
it's my
managers.
move.
Yeah.
I
Like I literally have a
hand out-
notepad.
I give them bar keys
Ah,
with my name on it.
damn, that's
I've been
fucking
doing
smart
it for
too.
fucking years.
Okay.
I've been doing it for like 8 years.
Yeah.
I have like they're expensive too. I mean, relatively, they're $5 a pop, but I'll walk into a venue and give about 30 of them. So, and that's every club I travel to in the country. I do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm actually low right now, and I didn't get the order in time, so. Yep. Yep. Well, yeah, no, and it's every time they open a beer, they see my name.
Yep.
And they love it too because they're like,
Yeah, I feel like you need, but yeah,
They need
can never have enough.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's smart. And that's something that I think
Dude,
is...
if you don't know who's hiring, how
marketing.
can you apply? It's that simple. You don't know the managers, what are you doing?
Yeah. So what's making you want to stop drinking? Just health or what?
Look at that. Look at that monitor up there. You see this?
You see that posture?
Do you see this posture, this body? I'm 40. I'm dying.
You should hear him snore.
Yeah, my snore.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. So what's the living situation on this trip, like
We've been
throughout
doing
this?
nice hotels. Well,
Yeah, but
the
are
one
you
in
guys
New Orleans-
one room?
The one in New Orleans is
one room for
expensive.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for. We've slept in the same bed, bro. Like,
Yeah.
We've been doing this for a decade.
You guys head to foot or you
We have separate beds now.
Nuts
Okay.
to butts.
Yeah.
Oh, nuts to butts all day. One time me and JR were sleeping in a bed together, and I woke up with my hand on his thigh, like on his thigh, like
what were you
right-
dreaming about?
him? But no, so yeah, what were we fucking talking about? Anymore?
Your guys' living situation.
Oh yeah, the
through
living
this.
situation is fantastic.
Yeah.
After the
Do you know how many times I've
recent,
seen this man's penis? It's amazing. Probably as many times I've seen mine because this gut is so big I can't.
You can't.
But no, so dude, something that's like 2 years ago, I got a personal trainer. Okay, and I see him every Wednesday, and the only thing that's consistent in my life is when I'm home. I basically go to the gym 4 to 6 days a week. Okay, consistently. Like I track it all. Like I've got the evidence, right? And I still look like this because I drink 4 bottles of Tito's a week.
Which then I'm sure leads to you eating at fucking night.
My food situation is, I would say, 80% good. It's better.
Okay.
It's better than you would think.
You're not a drunk eater?
You don't agree? During all the weeks at home, I don't.
I mean, I don't know what you're doing at home.
No, and I.
Zach's just basing it off of this trip. He's like,
see,
he's been
based
eating like
when
shit.
when we get together, when him and I get together, we always like watch Kill Tony together on Monday nights, and we will go after like a huge meal, and then we'll order like a pizza, like after a huge meal, and like go to a convenience store and spend $100
Yeah.
at
good times.
on candy and fucking snacks and eat all of it.
Are you guys
So, like,
drunk
sick.
and high at this time or what?
Always
We're
high.
just tired.
Yeah.
High, but we've been doing this since before you started smoking weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're big into food.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge eater, but no, like for the most part, like I do pretty well with food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my trainer says it too, because I track it and everything, and then I still am putting down 8,000 calories minimum of alcohol a week.
Now, how do you feel that the recent box office success of Boss Baby 2 has affected you in the clubs?
I wish.
I wish I knew the relevance to this at all. Fucking.
He's saying
He
I
looks
look
like
like
Boss
Boss
Baby.
Baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
god damn.
Benny Businessman. Yo,
That's
when
fucked up.
Everyone used to call me Benny Businessman because when I was like in my 20s and early 30s, I was always like putting a show together or like running an event or like trying to start a business or like just being my Jewish self.
Benny
or whatever.
Businessman.
Benny Businessman. And now it's like Benny Lazy Man.
Much
there
different.
There was just one night in Scottsdale when I was there recently that we were walking, from the fucking club back to somewhere, whatever, pizza spot or something. And we're just talking, having a conversation between the two of us, and someone like ran up and was like, "You look like Boss Baby."
I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah.
And like it was just
I was like not having it.
yeah,
either.
nobody was having it because
Yeah.
like he didn't do it funny. He didn't do it. It was just like
It was just like
okay,
an
like, what are
annoying
you
kid
doing?
on the street,
Yeah.
and then they like doubled down.
He doubled down.
Doubled
And it
down.
was like, what do you, come on.
Yeah, he like said
Yeah,
something
it
else.
was bad.
He was like, "Oh, go be a little bitch about it" or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, "Fuck you! I'll fucking kill you!
I don't even fucking know
I
you.
will murder you! You are doing this in the wrong block, my friend."
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, there's like 10 security guards right there that'll eat you alive. But I don't know.
It was
Just
funny.
fucking
It
runs
was funny
up and-
after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
for
wasn't
sure.
funny.
Yeah. Boss baby. Where are the memes? How come there's no memes?
Well, now I can clip it and fucking put a meme right after.
Dude, go for it. It better be good though. How's your meme work? It better be fucking amazing. Actually,
It'll
It's
go
going
from-
to the podcast.
from video of you talking about Boss Baby,
Dude,
and then just a cut.
I have to argue that DJs have to have the best group chats.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
Because they're all creatives and like the joke within a joke within a joke within a joke. And then like the memes that like evolve over time, like that like make no sense to anyone, but are the funniest thing. And like I've been put in some manager group chats where they like make memes and it's literally like a square photo of a head over just like a character. There's no like dude, like
no blending at all.
My friends are like, getting in there and doing color correction and like really making it
just
like,
spending way too much time on this shit.
I got added to manager group chat of the two opposing companies where we were all like talking shit, all the like GMs. And I got added to be like the weapon, like to bring like actual memes to the
Scud
game.
missile cuts.
You know, like to like, and they would like send in like the people from my team would like send in requests.
Hey, make
Can you
this.
do this?
Yeah.
And, like I would do it and like send it back while I was DJing, like multitasking, like so because they have no skills.
The worst is when you're like, you know, you're friends with a manager, but you're like not. You're like friendly with him, but you don't hang out with him outside of work. You're not like really
you're
friends
boys.
with him. You're like
You're
nightlife
boys.
boys with him. And they like to show you like TikToks and like things and like I mean this happened to me in Houston the most because I couldn't really connect with a lot of people in Houston, just being from a different place and they were from there and it was just very not I couldn't connect with them and it would happen all the time is people would just show me things and I'm just like what is this? Am I supposed to laugh?
Like it's not funny
Is this
at all.
funny?
Yeah.
Is this mean? Is this about me? Is this about you? I'm like, what? Like it's
The answer is no. It's not funny, and it makes no sense.
If you didn't laugh, I'm assuming it's not funny.
That also like reminds me like why so much like bad comedy is like still got an audience, or like shitty movies still have an audience.
Yeah,
like,
everything
shitty
has
music
an audience.
obviously has an audience.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Because most people don't have any exposure to quality memes.
I also think the group chats would be the best because I feel like most DJs are very unfiltered and just savages, so they don't give a fuck what they.
There's so much like I don't like. There's so many 1,000 times over that can be canceled from a group chat. It's insane. Like,
I just saw this shit today that some guy is getting busted that he was doing insider trading, and they caught him through his Xbox chats.
oh yeah,
nice.
He was using like Xbox
But
to
that's
fucking
just,
chat.
That's just stupid.
Yeah. But then they're
That's
like,
just
it was literally like
stupid.
the chat was going to be brought into like court. So then somebody made like a meme right away. It was
Yeah.
like, damn, if these can be put in trial, we're all fucked.
Yeah. But like, dude, an Xbox chat is a wild place to be.
That's what
sharing
I'm
some
saying,
shit.
yeah.
Like at least like I think I can count on my boys, but I'm like, if I like suddenly like became famous and had a lot of money and
it's
they like
over.
want, it's over.
Yeah.
They're not your boys anymore.
It's over.
They are coming for that check.
I'll fucking
I
leak.
just hope they do it like privately.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I would like $10,000.
Like blackmail you behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
Can you just like not?
Like, let's not go to TMZ here.
Like, why do we need to go to TMZ? I think people that go to TMZ are idiots, or like did try to do it behind the scenes and failed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like they couldn't come to a negotiation on the number.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like fuck you then, or they're just sloppy, whatever.
And then they just probably got lowballed by TMZ for it. So, yeah.
Totally last ditch effort.
And I just want to say that I wanted to use the microphone like this because I'm really impressed with Bobby Althof and the way that she juxtaposes a basic white woman talking to black males on her podcast.
Do you think she's funny?
I think that's really.
Do you think she's racist?
I think that whoever wrote that tweet is a retard.
Oh, I didn't know there was a
What tweet?
You sent it to me.
What? I did? I must have been hammered. What? Jesus. Wait, what does it say?
It's like the juxtaposition of
Wait,
basic
that was
white woman
that was-
speaking only
that
to
was a
black
D-
males.
That was a DJ that wrote
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean, we were making fun of him.
Yeah.
He
Now
remembers
now
it
that
now.
DJ is going to see this podcast and think I'm an asshole.
I hope so.
Whatever.
I hope so.
I think they were being
Because
sensitive.
to even say that to even say that makes it takes all credit away from the black men that she's talking to. He's saying that these people are so stupid that they don't even know that this is what she's doing.
And that it's racist.
Like they're not in on the joke. She's doing a joke of like, I'm gonna be stupid.
He is definitely taking away credit from them, but like I don't know, maybe he rightfully is. I don't know. I don't know how any
40 mark, so I just wanted to get into racism now.
Okay.
Now that everyone tuned out.
I haven't watched anything other than clips of hers.
Now that the YouTube
I'm impressed
algorithm
how
can't
much
get
he's kept
us.
it going.
I look at her clips and I just think they're fucking awkward and like not funny.
He would leave his girlfriend for Bobby.
Really?
First of all, I am gonna start a GoFundMe to see her tits. I'm gonna raise $1 million to see this woman's tits. And I'm sorry if my girlfriend is watching this still.
I thought you would have tuned out by now. I'm sorry.
She knows what she signed up for.
Yeah.
No, she's
She's gonna be the first person to donate. She wants to see him too.
Yeah.
The first dollar.
I do
You should
really like her
start
because
that GoFundMe. It might go viral.
I know I really wanted to, but then I
Because
got
but it has to be like, and you'll share it with everyone.
No, it goes to her.
No, it's for me.
No,
The money goes to her. The
Yeah,
tits are for me.
No, the money goes to her, and then the tits go to everyone.
Yeah, it's really how it's got to be for
Yeah,
sure.
if you're gonna get the money, you know.
You broadcast it on your OnlyFans.
I'm basically forcing her to start an OnlyFans.
You should get a GoFundMe.
I'm strong-arming her
ex-husband to give you a $500.
and then he gets sued.
Yeah, revenge porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like her because it's very clearly a character. And I
Yeah.
love anybody's ability to be able to play. That's like playing for her. For her to talk to somebody and they're having this conversation and it's very clearly not real and she's trying to be awkward and she's trying to make people uncomfortable and they're also into it because otherwise they wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I enjoy watching.
Do you what was the state of her podcast before Drake? Were you aware of
She
it?
had, like,
the
Tyga.
first podcast that she did, that she put on the internet, was with Rick Glassman, who I am a huge fan of.
Who is Rick Glass?
He's a comedian
Okay.
and a podcaster.
Okay. And
But then
so
she's
she
had like Funny Marco. She's had Shaq. She's had Tyga.
Yeah.
she just had Offset
Okay. Damn.
like yesterday.
I saw the clips of the one with Shaq. And it's like,
Who is the guy right after?
She also had Mark Cuban.
Oh yeah, she.
Oh.
Yep. That's insane.
she had a white guy.
Incredible
White guy. The
A-list.
first one was a white guy.
Incredible A-list.
Well, like Drake, she literally said she just slid in his DM.
Jewish guy.
And then he was like,
Well,
Yeah.
He followed her, I think.
Yeah, and then she slid in his DM, yeah.
And it was just like, oh, okay, I'll ask him.
yeah.
And it happened,
Cool.
which is
Do your
crazy.
shot.
It's dope. But
And
the
we're-
original thing that she did was, which is incredibly smart, is she put a post up that said, comment somebody like famous or somebody big or something, tag them, and if they do my podcast, I'll give you $300 to like a random fan of this person.
It has to be the
So-
first person that comments it.
Not, I don't
Not
know if
to
it was
everyone,
no,
like-
not to everyone. Whoever does it. So
Right.
somebody tagged Rick Glassman, and Rick Glassman was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it," because now I'm getting one of my fans $300, which
Yeah.
they're gonna like, and I'm also doing this thing or whatever. But it was more for like, it put that person in a position to where it's like, I can do this. I have time to do this, and
I
someone
look like
will
a
get
pussy if I don't.
$300. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like doing a good thing.
You're baiting them too.
Yeah, which I thought was extremely smart.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, I definitely think if you have the following too, you could potentially have fucking a shit ton of people tag that one person.
Right.
So it's like you have a higher chance of them even seeing it to get on your show too.
Right.
This man knows more about podcasts than anyone in the world.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
spends
I'm
a
a-
lot of time.
All he does is listen to podcasts.
I know when he's at the gym, he's fucking just
All day.
watching pods.
It's an insane amount.
Yeah.
I'm a
I don't
fiend.
even have anything in my life to listen to music or podcasts.
What you have to do is move to a shithole of a city where you don't want to speak with anybody, and the only
It's crazy because I don't want to speak with anyone for 4 days of the week. Doesn't matter where I am.
yeah.
You know, I talk to like you and two other people on the phone. When I'm in like going to run an errand. That's about it. But like,
Yeah.
at the gym, I don't even listen to music. I hate listening to music while working out.
Yeah.
Absolutely despise it. Yeah, I was thinking about it. It's not like
Do you listen to anything or no?
No, God, no.
See, but like I watch
listen to my
podcasts.
body. I want to feel the weight pull from the head to the toe, okay? As I'm doing my deadlifts.
Yeah.
You know? I want to feel every muscle in my body as I'm lifting weights.
I watch them as like a market research. Like I look at other people's shit and I'm like, damn, like this camera looks fucking really nice. Or like so the aesthetics of the room and the lighting and shit like that. And then I'm like, cool, I need to incorporate that into mine. But then like setup of shows and stuff too, and how they phrase questions and all that kind of shit. Like for her, that awkwardness that she plays into is like that's part of the fucking script. Like
she went for Dave. She went on Dave Portnoy's podcast
and was like, normal.
And he like asked her to like turn it on. And she like did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
really, I didn't see that.
I don't know, like Marshmallow still hasn't taken the helmet off, so you know what I mean? Like Deadmau5 took the helmet off week 1. You know, it's up to you. It's your choice, but I personally would take the helmet off. I'd want to save it for the podcast, but I think in her situation, she shouldn't have.
Yeah, because then now it shows everybody like, oh,
she should have just kept running with the ball.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I personally like that. My favorite thing about watching or listening to a podcast is being able to try to pick apart how somebody's brain works. To watch them speak for 3 hours straight, an hour straight, whatever it is, an hour a week, if you really watch, tuned into somebody's shit, you really get to see how somebody's brain works. It's, a lot of times people talk and they give you this version of themselves that they want you to see. It's like Instagram. They give you their best version of themselves. They sell you who they think they are, who they are trying to be, but you have to be able to read in between the lines and see who this person actually is. And watching a podcast, you get to do that. And you get to see how but you get to watch a Theo Von and see how his brain works, see the things that come out of his mouth.
Wait, does he turn the character off?
I think that's just
literally him.
I think that's just him.
I
don't
think so
he
too.
Is a character, but also
maybe it became him too.
Yeah, or also that's like the best version of him. That's who he wants to be at all times, but maybe he's having an off day and feels like shit. And that's not him on Tuesday afternoon, but he's trying to do the things that he has to do to be able to be that person.
Yeah.
Fun, loose, funny, saying things, just having the things flow and words come. Like there's nothing worse than like trying to be social and not have enough juice in the tank to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if you're watching somebody, like you said, hours a day or a week, you're going to figure it out as opposed to just like, a social media post of them on vacation on a beach. You're like, oh, damn, like they're fucking here. Eventually you're seeing them week after week after week after week. You're like, okay, this is who they are playing or who they really are.
Yeah, you get to pick apart. You get to see. You could say, okay, he's joking here. Most people would think it's serious, but I've watched enough of this to know that he's joking.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys jumping on and taking the time. I know.
Had a lovely time.
Yeah.
It's great.
I appreciate it. I hope
We're
you guys.
old friends. We haven't seen each other in a minute. It's nice
I
to
know.
connect.
I haven't seen you since Houston.
Yeah, since
feel
the
like.
beginning
Why
when it
did you
first
go to
came
Houston?
out. Him and his girl came to visit. It was
like COVID.
pandemic, right?
Yeah.
They were
Oh,
open.
so it probably felt cool then.
Yeah, because Houston was like kind of still open a little bit.
Yeah, it was exciting because it was one of the only
I remember
places
he was
open.
dead excited when he first moved there, and then by the time I went to visit for the first time, he wanted to commit suicide.
Suicidal. Yeah.
Yeah, so we literally were just like, all right, cool. Like Zach's going to Houston. It was opening weekend for that Bottle Blonde out there.
Yeah.
So we went out there for the weekend and
Hell yeah,
kicked it.
that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, for you guys, obviously just in town for a little bit. This will come out in a couple weeks, so unfortunately people won't be able to see you guys at Whiskey Row.
How come we don't do these things live?
Live
We
is
could.
You scared?
is fun. Live is fun.
No,
Me and Dolo started live.
yeah.
I know.
I enjoy it. I had to stop doing live because I couldn't. If I was streaming and also recording at the same time, my computer doesn't have enough power to save the video. It was choppy. So I just started recording it, stopped doing live.
And I feel like when you guys would do like music and shit on there, it would kick you off.
Dude, the last time I went on his podcast, within 30 seconds, I was talking shit about a club owner. And we like beep it out. So I'm like, that's why we don't go live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also that, but
Thank you for having us. This is a
yeah.
blast.
As far as followers and stuff, let everybody know where they can find you guys at social media.
There's nothing there, bro.
Yeah, I don't want
Well, for him.
I don't want any Instagram followers. I just want people to watch my podcast because I'm no longer a DJ. I'm just a podcaster.
If you're watching this, unfollow me on Instagram. If you currently follow me and you're watching this, unfollow me. I'm trying.
He just doesn't want people to follow him because he doesn't. He's got a girlfriend now. He's trying to have girls
I've
not on
literally
his Instagram.
unfollowed every fucking trash bag, bottle rat bitch that I ever followed from Houston, and I've muted the rest.
I'm gonna mute every woman on my timeline. It's a distraction. It's bad for business.
Yeah. It really is like, if you're honestly, I've never understood that. I've never understood like tempting yourself with that. Like, you have a girl, but you follow all these big booty chicks on Instagram. It's just like, it feels like trying to be on a diet while you're working out at Planet Fitness on free pizza day.
Dude, I just never thought about it before. You know what I mean? I never thought like, because that's the whole thing, they've got control over us already. So you don't think like, oh, hey, I can like turn this off if I want to and not like have this in my face. And like, quite honestly, like, I don't like opening my phone next to my girlfriend and there being like a half naked woman like on my phone. Like, she's used to it 100%. And she's used to like going, like seeing me at the club and like it just being like a swarm of girls in the DJ booth or whatever.
But it's still
like,
fucking weird.
it's not something I want to like put in her face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's disrespectful. Like,
Yeah.
It is. It is. I subscribe to that.
Podcast for you. You're on YouTube. It's
YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I think that's it. It's youtube.com/partywithstrategy.
there. You go.
Cool.
Either one. Yeah, they're both.
I have nothing to plug.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time, coming
you.
over,
Our
hanging
pleasure.
out.
Yeah. Let's go eat.
Let's go have some fun tonight.
Go eat some hot chicken.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tune in every Wednesday. These are always on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. If you like listening to the DJ mixes, the platform mix comes out every Monday, hour-long DJ mixes from DJs all over the world. I'm DJ Dex. Follow me on Instagram at DJDexMKE. And until next time, we're out.
Peace. Later.
Peace.
Peace.
Check. Mic check. 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?